Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Robert. If you're new here, I live and travel full time in my van. I'd like to thank everyone who's joined, especially everyone who's subscribed. First of all, I really appreciate it. I'm going to jump right into it, okay? Everyone who has been following me, now I've been living in the van now for about 3 months, um, and it's been great. However, this video is going to be about stealth camping and what I do and what I see other people do, and I think the community accepts, and I think it's okay when you're stealth camping. So, um, first, how to find parking. Like, you can have activities all day long. You can parking won't be an issue. You're just like everyone else out in public. It comes nighttime. Where do you find parking that's safe, where you can rest? Um, I found Walmart's, those kind of places. I think they've a lot of them have closed in a lot of cities, and also I think there's been a big wave of uh, parking overnight there. So a lot of them have security now; they don't accept it. So um, you might want to scratch that one off the list. Um, what I like to do, I found like a location like this. I'm at Natural Bridges, by the way, you guys, in California, um, Santa Cruz. I love it here. It's great, nice little town. First time visiting here, by the way. Um, I'm en route down to LA. I'm taking my time because I'm kind of waiting for the fires to die down, so I actually can get into town and it not be a air advisory or hazardous materials still. My heart goes out to all those who've been affected by the fires, by the way. I should say that also. Um, However, the best place, I believe, if you're not at a campground and you're able to, I believe is in a residential area. Okay. There's two reasons for that because there's people there, you're safe. If something were to happen, there are other people around. So when I'm in the city, I typically go into residential areas and I try to find a commercial slash residential and maybe park on the commercial side, uh, and there's residential on the other side. Um, that's a great option. And how you're going to do that is you're going to do your business all day long, stay out. Then when you get ready to go find your place, make sure you do it before night or when you're coming into town. If you're in that area, take a look around real quick. Um, And then when you come back, you want to have everything done. You want to have your dinner already cooked, ate your dishes, everything, maybe even be in your pajamas. You're ready to go. You're ready to tuck in right when you get there. That way, when you pull up, um, you can pull up, hit your lights, um, pop out your laptop, your phone, whatever, watch a movie or whatever, put up your shades, and you're quiet. You're done for the night. And I've never had any issues doing it like this. Um, so, Another great spot if you're in residentials that I like is around apartment buildings because no one particularly is going to say, oh, that vehicle's out of place. They don't know if it's a neighbor's vehicle, someone visiting. So it's a little more easier being stealth, getting away with it than versus in a nice residential area where it's all homes. That's kind of tough. You got to pick your right street in the right area. Make sure you don't park directly in front of someone's house, maybe at the end of their property line where their fence is or something. Um, and you could possibly get away with that. But I like residential apartment buildings, big apartment buildings, and I park out on the street in front of the apartment complex under a lights. Um, I handle all my business. I pull up and I park and I'm done for the night. And I've gotten away with it now, and that's where I feel the safest too, where I don't feel like I have to worry about pedestrians at night, people that are also out at night, um, walking by the vehicle, waking me up, being loud. So um, that works great. Okay, you guys. So keep that in mind. Um, but you also want to know, when you go to these places, you want to. There's places how you're going to park. And let me say this: if you're getting into the van life, for me, it's gonna take a while for you to get comfortable. So be prepared. You're not gonna hop in the van. You're not gonna just drive off and all of a sudden know what to do. It's like your first day on the job. Everybody tells you what to do. You have a great idea to do it, how to do it, and you're going to tackle it and you're going to do fine, but you're going to have to get in your own groove. Get that muscle memory. Get comfortable, what you are comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. So keep that in mind. So when you make your budget up and things that you plan on doing, make sure that you know you're gonna need a little time. I would say it took me about 2 months, you guys. Like I'm really now getting comfortable, especially in residential areas. Because if you watch any of my videos, I spent a lot of time on the coast because it's camping and it's, that's kind of what you do out on the coast. But when you come inland, van life, you have to find uh, your avenue, I guess, where you're comfortable. What part of the community are you comfortable in? If you're really comfortable, out in the suburbs and in front of someone's house, that's probably, you can do that. That's totally fine. It's not illegal. Um, and I should add, while we're talking about this, guys, it's not illegal to sleep in your vehicle. So if you're not doing anything wrong, you're not making any noise, you choose the right parking spot, you're going to be totally fine. Totally. That's why I choose to stay in populated areas like apartments where there's more traffic. I don't feel comfortable just parking the van outside someone's house in an area that I don't even know, and they just see this van out there. You know, so um, definitely you're gonna want to know how to park your van, where to park it. If you're going into places there's parking lots, you want to park on the end. That's always the best. You'll see vans always on the end of the parking lots. And the reason being is because as the place fills up, it kind of gives you a little more space on one side of your van. If you have a sliding door or not, it doesn't matter. Just kind of gives you that little extra space to yourself, right? When if you're in a park or you're somewhere. So always choose the furthest one to either end, right? When you pull in, the first one or the last one. This goes the same for rest stops on the highways. If you're comfortable doing that, or you can pull right in the middle by the restroom, that there's a lot of traffic there all the time. So keep that in mind. These are ultimate ways to stealth camp. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. There's another really good one. I've never heard anyone use this one, guys, and I hope you're still listening because this one's totally legal too. Okay, by the way, your bank. You can park at your bank if you're a customer at that bank. It is totally legit. There's nothing anyone can say, and it's probably the safest place to park on the planet. Okay, so think about that. That one hit me the other night. I was like, you know what? I had to go to the bank, and I seen the sign said for customers only, and I was like, it's getting dark. They're going to be closing. You know what? I'm going to leave here, go get something to eat, double back, and I'm going to park at the bank. And it worked, you guys. Now, I wouldn't use that as far as like every time you pull into a city, unless you talk to a branch manager or something. They're totally fine with that. Tell them your plans, you're traveling, and they might say, yeah, that's totally fine. But that's a great one. Okay. Another thing that you should always be aware of. I got some notes here, you guys, so I'm not trying to just go off of the rip here. I talked about the Walmart, you guys. You when you are going to park and you're looking for parking, I think it's very important that you kind of give space for other van lifers and RVers and people out in the community that maybe already there and found that parking spot. Like you don't when all it makes me feel comfortable if I know, okay, there's other vans during the daytime. It's cool. Don't get too close, but kind of give them space because you don't know how long they've been there. They've you know so, but at nighttime, definitely, if I see one two vans, definitely I'm not going to just be the third van and make it a van party. um, so, but it does give me comfort because then I go down the street a little further around the block, down a couple blocks, and I know I'm in the right area. Well, okay, they're used to seeing vans in the area, so and then I find me a spot off around the corner, to myself. So keep that in mind. I always give the other person their space if they got there first. Especially I do, especially on the highway. It's only happened to me once, and I I didn't lose any sleep over it. However, it did wake me up, and I just thought the next day I didn't. Maybe they really needed to get off the road, and that was just their only chance to get off the road. So, um, and I just, you know, I don't do it personally. I try to, here's another good tip, you guys. What I try to do is, um, when you get your van, you're gonna find your morning routines, how you like to do things, and once you do that, once you find your morning routine, throw this into it. Start working on your parking for the night. Always keep that in the back of your mind. If you're traveling 100 miles down the highway, okay, I understand. But if you're staying in that same facility, that area, maybe you're visiting and you're just going to keep, traveling and see the other side of the city, always keep in the back of your mind, where can I park? Because you can drive and drive, and if you keep that in your head, you'll see ample spots. You'll see other vans. You'll start noticing, and you're like, oh, okay, that looks like a good spot, and then you already have it. And if you prepare yourself, it's going to take a lot of stress off whenever you're done doing what you're doing during the day, going straight to that location and be able to shut down and call it a day. The last thing you want to do is drive around at nighttime looking for a safe spot to sleep. That is a no-no. Okay, so always throw that in your morning routine. If you're looking up your route, you know where you're going, and you're thinking of residentials, you could go on rent uh, apartmentrent.com or something in that area, and put in that area and get a couple addresses of apartments that look nice, and that's your location where you're going to be sleeping for the night. You already know, you're kind of familiar. You stayed around apartments, and you kind of know how to move around them. So that's a great way to do it. Just apartments.com or one of the renter places, and say you're going to Los Angeles. Look up, oh, that looks like a nice apartment. I would live there. Hey, and then you have an address, you have a location that's close to where you're going, and so you don't have to drive around hunting for a place to stay. Um, and a good FYI, be stealth too. When you show up to your location, you want to pull up, shut down the car, put up your shades. They don't want to know if it's male, female. They don't need to see you at all. You just need to pull up. That way, that's stealth. The car pulled up, and what I do is when I pull up, I put up my shades. I go in the back, and sometimes if there's this kind of I feel like I'm maybe being watched. I'll pull up. I'll get up my shades. I'll open my door. I'll shut it. I'll go in the back, shut everything down, and I'll hit my locks, and my locks will pop. That way, they hear the door shut. They heard the alarm go off. As far as they know, somebody got out the car and they just didn't see which way they walked. Unless you see what I'm saying. So I mean, that's great. So I'm hoping these tips are helping you guys. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. The main thing I could say out of these 3 months that I've learned is that it's going to take some time. If I would have known the things I know now from experience only, because I've watched a lot of YouTubes and I watched everybody's input and subscribed to a lot of people, and I was hungry to learn, how am I going to survive doing this? And the best thing I can do is tell you is right when you get your van, if you're considering this or you already have it, is just slow down, slow your pace down. You have to be comfortable. You have to accept it. You live in a van now. You can choose to put yourself in the van life community and surround yourself around a lot of other van lifers. Um, Me, I'm more of an introvert, kind of a solo traveler. Um, so it took me a while I had